Hello and welcome to another edition of Weighted to Win. Great to be in the hot seat and great to have both D's with me for the Saturday meeting out at Turffontein. We've got Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows joining us. We hope that we've got you in good spirits. It looks to be a nice card at Turffontein. We're going to dive straight into it. Just looking at the first race, I mean, there's a number of first-timers that we're going to have to wait for comments on. Presley as well as Love Grass. Those are probably two horses, the only two first-timers that we do need to get comments on. And then you've got Chocolate Bomb, who does represent some very good form from the Johan Janse van Vuuren yard. Ran second on debut. I'm going to go to Darren Burrows on the line. Darren, great to have you back on the show. It does look to a good race on paper for the first. Is there anything in particular you like?
Well, the obvious inclusion has to be Chocolate Bomb on that good second on debut, staying on really nicely at the finish. But the form line could be suspect. I do believe that he's good enough for the buy pots. I wouldn't be having a bet at around 4 or 5 to 10, but definitely the horse to beat.
Okay, yeah, I mean, 6 to 10 at the moment. I see this favourite. Very short, Chocolate Bomb. Gavin Larina gets the ride for Johan Janse van Vuuren. One Daring Axe at 9 to 2, and it's 8 to 1 and better those. Daryl, anything in particular you like? I mean, obviously the favourite does look hard to beat. Have you heard any whispers about the first-timers?
I haven't heard anything, Brandon. Yeah, I'm going into this leg confident enough to bank the favourite. Promising debut. Take note, the horse that ran third, Brandon, on that occasion was Tyson the Brave. In my mind, well, in my opinion, he shouldn't have lost these next starts. Yours?
Yeah, very unlucky.
Very unlucky.
Didn't get a passage.
So I think I'm willing to say that form line's been franked with Tyson the Brave running like he did last time out. Further behind him in that field was a horse called Breath of Magic, finished 3.5 lengths behind him. He's come out to run 2 places since. His latest been second to a horse called Copper John. So yeah, let's bank a Chocolate Bomb in the first leg of the bipod.
Yeah, and the horse that ran last, also a horse that I think we can follow from the Chris Jonker yard, being Trip to States. That will win anytime soon at a decent price. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections. See up on your screen, Daryl Marie's gone with the bipod. He's going to bank the 3-horse. Obvious selection, looks hard to beat. Chocolate Bomb by 1 and 5, by 5, 6 and 11, by 1 and 2, by 1, 5, 7, by 7 and 8, and that's going to cost you 72 Rand. Place accumulator starts in race number 2. Just take note that Mun's Night has been scratched. And the updated betting over here has number 5 for Shimi Inari now trading at 9 to 10. 6 Brotherhood of Magic at 28 to 10, and you're getting 5 to 1 and better those two. I'm going to go to Daryl Marie first. Daryl, for Shimi Inari, now that Mun's Night has come out, does look very hard to beat.
I agree with that, Brandon. Obviously, my selection slide will show that I included Mun's Nights, but we'll double up on the favourites. No, Fushimi Inari's obviously shown enough to suggest that he's going to get it right. Brandon on a line through No Place Like Home. He does hold Brotherhood of Magic because he beats Brotherhood of Magic, or he beat No Place Like Home. What was it? By 3/4 of a length, and No Place Like Home beat Brotherhood of Magic. But you know, races aren't run on paper, they run on grass. So strictly on paper, you should have the beating of Brotherhood of Magic. So yes, banker for Shimi.
Good bet.
Very hard to beat.
Okay.
Very hard to beat. What is there? Is there an equipment change with him or not?
Well, he's got
cheek pieces on,
yeah,
Brandon.
He's got the cheek pieces
cheek
fitted.
Pieces. Are you a fan of cheek pieces?
You know what? I mean, we all got our ways, but I mean, obviously he's been working with them back at home, and maybe
Yes.
they found that improvement.
Let's just hope he breaks on terms. You don't want to be stuck behind a few of these in this race. Let's hope he's closer to the pace.
All right, yeah, let's go to Darren Burrows on the line. Darren, do you make Fushimi Inari a good bet? I see 9 to 10. Surely can get it right in a race of this nature.
Yes, Brandon, I can't see this horse getting beat. I thought he was worth a bet at around 12 to 10. Now that he's 9 to 10 with the scratching, I still think there's value in the price. He's made steady progress throughout in his last 2 starts. He was running on strongly in his penultimate start, and last time out he was caught a little bit too far back in the early part. Maybe that's the reason for the cheek pieces, just to sharpen him up and get him handy. And I think the turffontein stand-side track's going to suit him down to the ground.
Okay, so there we go. Probably going to be a banker in all bets for Shimi Inari. We saw Copper John come and win from that Hotter Ruby form line. Daryl Marie in the place accumulator gone 1 and 5. So you did, yes, included number 1 Mun's Night, and hope that we can double up over there by 5, 6 and 11, by 1 and 2, by 1, 5, 7, by 7 and 8, by 2, 3 and 5, by banker 2, and that's going to cost you 216 Rand. You need to be on by 12.55. Pick 6 starts now in race number 3, and I see the favourite over here as the first timer from the Lucky Hoodalakas yard. That's What a Lucy, the 3-year-old bay filly. Caden Brewer gets the ride for Lucky Hoodalakas in the silks of Drakenstein Stud Farm, so we wish Gaynor Rupert and her team all the best. Contra Fiscum also found a bit of support, early support, now trading at about 3-1, and it's 9-2 and better those. I'm going to go to Darren Burrows. Darren, what have you heard about this first timer? Is there anything floating around? I see favourite 28-10.
I haven't heard anything as yet, but I saw a little bit of market support last night from 33-10 to 28-10. If she's any good, she could make a winning debut. There's a lot of speed in her pedigree. Now, this horse, White Heels, has been disappointing, but she didn't get a clean break last time out. And when she's stuck behind horses, she doesn't find a finish. If she gets a clean break, leads the race going through the 600, drawn towards the outside, I can see improvement with White Heels. This isn't a strong race. I have gone the field in the pick 6, including the first timer, so we can double up if she is too good for this field.
Okay, so we'll try and get the lowdown, obviously, from Lucky. He's always prepared to help us, and perhaps the presenters, being myself and Nico at Turffontein, can try and get a comment from Lucky Hoodalakas with regards to this first timer, What a Lucy. Daryl, I mean, Contra Fiscum, I've been waiting for this horse to get over a bit further. That was a nice enough run to see her competitive in a race like this.
Yeah, it was a fair run. She showed a lot of pace. Wasn't finding much in the latter stages. Comes back to 1,000, Brandon. She's got that racing experience, and she's drawn on what could be the favourable side of the track. I don't know about the strength of that form line, though. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I don't know too much. I mean, I've always had a good look at this horse, Contra Fiscum, and I've always said when she goes over a bit more ground, perhaps the confidence will be there. So I'm not sure the 1,000 will be ideal, but in saying that, it doesn't look to be a strong race, Daryl.
Yeah. And then you got, actually, of the race runners, I like the one Darren's touched on, White Hills. I think she's much better than her comeback efforts. I expect her to reverse the form with Wilkies, in saying that she has been disappointing herself. This first time has bred to absolutely fly. I don't know if you recall her, Dan. She won 4 races, all over 1,000 meters. The sister, Lucy English, yeah, her half sister, very, very good filly. She's got her issues, but when she's good,
She can run.
she can run. So if there's further market support for What a Lucy, I think she'll make a winning debut.
All right, yeah, we'll try and get a comment. Like I say, we'll try and find that comment from Lucky. There's a good ground of us out there, Turffontein, to get that comment between myself, Alistair, and Nico. Surely we can get a comment from Lucky. But what we're going to do is put up these selections and see what we're doing in terms of the pick 6. It starts now in race 3, and Darren Burrows has gone 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11 by 2 and 9, by banker 1, by 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, by 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 3,840 Rand to spend. You need to be on by 1:30. Let's go to the first jackpot. The favourites over here is Atticus Finch at about 22-10. That's number 2. Gavin Larina gets the ride for Alec Laird. Number 1, Stratospheric at 33-10. 3 Tizonas at 33-10. And you can pretty much write your price about the balance of the field. Darren, this horse, Atticus Finch, beautiful looking horse. Very good winner last time out. Can you see him going bang again?
Yes, definitely. I do believe he'll confirm that form beating Tizona. I think he'll just about beat Tizona once again. He's a lovely horse. He returned after a break. I think he's matured, and he's run off the likes of Future Pearl. I just feel that he's quite decent, and he could be a step above these horses. I made the danger a horse called Kotinos. I was really impressed with Kotinos last time out. He was rushing home late. He was closing the gap on Sir Yoverman at the line. And I just feel the mile on the stand-side track's going to be ideal. So with a handy galloping weight, I thought he was the value at 12-1 and 5-2 a place.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice enough find there from Darren. Kotinos, the 5-year-old chestnut gelding. Diego de Gavea gets the ride for Roy Magna. Daryl, this was Atticus Finch. I know you've always been a big fan of this individual. I've actually spoken to Alistair Cohen as well a number of times. Beautiful looking horse. I think when the penny completely drops, he's going to be smart.
Yeah, Brandon, this horse is going to go through the divisions, especially off his current rating. He's much better than it. I don't know if you heard the post-race interview with Alec. He was of the opinion that there's never been much separating Atticus and Billy Bowlegs.
Okay.
Lovely return after a rest last time out. He's out at the weights with Tizona. I don't think Tizona will be able to reverse that form. So he's definitely going to confirm that form in my mind. I've just backed him up with Stratospheric. Now, I think this horse is much better around a bend. His last run, second run after rest, was a flat effort. I don't know if the handicap has got to him or it was a flat effort. I think on Saturday it will confirm that because I do believe he's better than that. So I'm giving him one more chance. 2 from 1 for me.
Yeah, big individual. Stratospheric. He's got a lovely action. I think Daryl's hit the nail on the head. Probably a better horse around the turn. And if he can dictate up in front, it could be hard to peg back that last 200. Let's see what we're doing in terms of selections. Darren Burroughs been kind enough to give us a jackpot 1 over here. He's gone 2 and 9. So Atticus Finch and the 9 Kotinos by Banker 1, by 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10. 96 Rand the spend. You need to be on by 2:05. Second jackpot that starts now in race number 5 and very short in the market is Quasi's Lady. 13-20. Siandis Osibo gets the ride for Alec Laird. Let's go to Darren first. Darren, you were telling me off air, probably a penalty kick in a race of this nature.
Definitely. Looks an absolute one-horse race. This isn't a strong field. She drops in class. As long as she settles her head in running, she'll do the rest and she should win comfortably.
I like it. That's what we like to hear, the confidence. Daryl, can you give us the confidence? Like I was saying, very quirky horse. I go back to when Donald Keartson got the ride, took off at the top of the lane. But if Sianda can get this one to settle, very hard to beat.
Yeah, talking about that race, Brandon, that was on the 4th of April on the inside track beyond October Fair. Is that right?
That's right.
If you have a look at that race, Queen Bomi beat her, and Queen Bomi's 5 kilograms better off on that run. She beat her and she's 5 kilograms better off. But in saying that, I mean, she did get
I'm going to say it off the
a
bat for
strange
you.
ride.
It wasn't I've already said it a number of times. I don't think it was a great ride at all.
Yeah.
I mean, to go and settle off at the top of the lane and try and expect her to sustain that gallop is not going to happen.
But like you say, she's a quirky filly, and we all know Cadenborough gets on the best with her. Nah, she gets Yanda. I'm not saying she's not going to be able to deliver, but there is that in the back of my mind. I like 3 strands over here. Talking about Satellite, she was Satellite at the 600 last time out. She's down to a 67, having a peak run, 52 kgs from a 1 draw. I don't know if you've seen her. She's actually a nice, strong filly. We haven't seen the best of her yet. I think she'll give the favourite a run for her money. So 1, 5 and 7, I'm not willing to separate them.
Yeah, I think if Sianda can get Quasi's Lady just to relax, she'll come with a devastating run towards the middle outside, I'm sure. Very hard to beat. You heard from Daryl Marie, likes a bit of value, 3 strands at 7-1. Let's see what we're doing in terms of selections. The jackpot 2 starts now. Daryl's gone 1, 5 and 7, so he's not going to bank a Quasi's Lady. By 7 and 8, by horses 1 to 11, that'll be in leg 3, by 2 and 5. So that spends 132 Rand. You need to be on by 1440. So we go on to race number 6. Very competitive sprint. Favourites number 8, Captain Hindsight at 2-1. 7 Flower Bombs at 7-2. The 1 Mercantors at 4-1. And it's 11-2 and better. Darren, great race this because there's some quality sprinters. I'm sure they'll be very competitive in some of the mini features coming up on the high felt. What do you like?
Brandon, I actually like the 7-year-old Captain Hindsight. Now, since joining the Peter stable, he's found another lease of life. I mean, he was super impressive last time out. He beat a horse like Moonshining Through by over 4 lengths. The 1,000 meters not a concern, and I just feel he could build on that effort with 52 kilos to shoulder. If you're looking for dangers, I mean, there's plenty. Flower Bomb, bottom weight. Sheldon dropping in class. Mover and Shaker with a weight off his back. Roll with the Punches and Mercantor all got chances, but I just feel Captain Hindsight could make it a hat-trick of wins.
He's done nothing wrong to date as Captain Hindsight. Whether he's a 2-1 shot, we'll find out. The race will tell. Daryl, a horse that I do want to ask you about is Sheldon. I'm going to forgive him for that last run. He's a lot better than that. But now that he's back on home territory, I think what's going to be an ideal draw, track that he knows well, could be the value.
Yeah, you must have a chance. If you're willing to excuse him over his last start, Brandon, but his penultimate form line isn't really holding up. But I'm not totally ignoring him here, because on his day he is one of the better sprinters around. One thing's for certain is the pace is on over here. Roll with the Punches, Mover and Shaker. And I thought Flower Bomb got to the front too soon last time out. When she's in front, she's a bit hesitant. She needs to be produced very, very late. And I think with the pace being on, it will certainly suit her. Go to the best weighted column. You'll see she comes up trumps over here, 2 kilograms better off than anything else. So I'm going to side with her. We've obviously seen winners from that form line. Rainbow Reward and one other, I think Mythical Dream. But Captain Hindsight, healthy respect for him, Brandon. Since he's changed odds, he's been ultra impressive. Just one thing. Last time out was a middle stakes and you could only get a maximum £6 penalty. So, yes, he is out at the weight of a year, but on the other hand, he ran above his rating because of that maximum penalty. So, he could actually score a hat-trick of a year. So, I'm going 7 from 8.
This was a very good bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know
think
what
they bought
that
it for 50 grand.
Sure, what a pleasure. Maybe I must pop over to my neighbours, have a word with him if he notches up 3 in a row.
Yeah, if you can get a percentage, please help us, Daryl. Let's put up those selections. Let's see what we're doing. This is a good sprint, this. I think we'll learn a lot from race number 6. Captain Hindsight for Darren Burrows. He suggests that we go the win at about 2-1. He's a 7-year-old bay gelding. He's done nothing wrong with the Tony Peter yard, and Muzi Yeni gets the ride with only 52 kilograms on the back. Let's go to the next live race from Turffontein. This will be race number 7. The 2 Power Brokers 9-2. The 1 was Black Egret 11-2. 3 Munchkin 11-2. The 5 COVID Operators at 11-2. And it's 6-1 and better those. Darren, very open race. There's a few that have done nothing wrong to date. Is there anything in particular you like over here?
Well, if Power Broker wasn't drawn down the inside at 1, I would have made him very hard to beat, but he's still going to remain one of my first choices. I liked his last 2 starts after a break. He's going to strip fitter. He ran off a horse like Back in Business, who's decent, and Captain Hindsight. So he's going to rate the horse to beat. Now, Munchkin, he's had the 2 comeback runs. I thought his second run back was a bit disappointing, but he has got a reputation, and you can't ignore him. Black Egret should be thereabouts, and Siberian Steel.
Open race. Not the race you want to rush off and go and put the rent money. That I can assure you. Let's go and see what Daryl likes. Daryl, like I say, Darren's hit the nail on the head over there with Power Broker. If it was drawn towards the middle outside, probably very hard to beat. But I think he's got enough toe to try and get towards the middle outside.
Yeah, he's certainly got enough toe, Brandon. He's very quick out the pens. Muzi can stay straight or angle him towards the outside. I don't know. The going's very hard. I don't know how much of a bias the outside will have when the going's so hard. Back in handicap, I'll give him a winning claim. Take note, excuse me, Brendan, there is an equipment change with Munchkin. The tongue tie goes on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And a compression mask. So I think Lucky's really throwing the kitchen sink at this one because he's not producing what they know he's capable of. Maybe those changes could assist him and we can see the real Munchkin. COVID operator. This horse, I promise you, Brandon, his latest victory was his best to date by far. He just keeps on improving, and I'll say it and say it again. 3 runs back, Craig Zaki, prior to that victory when he beat What a Tiger, he said they're trying something new with him, and it seems to have worked a treat. I mean, he's had 2 wins, both very eye-catching, and short-haired second. So Gavin gets a great tune out of him. He'll be produced late. Whether the ground's too quick for him, I don't know. But I think 2, 3, and 5 are my leading lights. I'm not saying the race stops there because there are certainly others with chances.
Let's go and have a look what we're doing in terms of selections. It's the penultimate today, race 7. 2, 3, and 5 in a tote double for Daryl Marie. So race 7, 2, 3, and 5. And then in race 8, he's gone 2 and 5. You can take that for 6 rand. Take it for as many times as you want. You need to be on at 15.50. It's the last race. I always call it the lucky last and hope that we can get out of jail over here. The 13 to 10 favourites is number 5, Tuscan Gold. 2 fully loaded, 28 to 10. The 1 Fort Lauderdale's at 9 to 2. And it's 6 to 1 and better those. Let's go to Daryl Marie first. Let's do things differently for the last race. Daryl, this was Tuscan Gold. Early support, 13 to 10. Fully loaded, I thought very unlucky last time out. That's at 28 to 10. Is the winner going to come from those 2 horses?
No, Brandon, if Tuscan Gold wasn't in this race, I would have said fully loaded's a 5-star bet because we all saw what happened to him. I mean, he was taken up for 150 to 200 meters last time at a crucial stage of the race. So, judging on that effort, he's better than his rating. And I would have said go and empty out.
What would you have done differently last time, Daryl?
With who?
If you were on fully loaded, what would you have done?
I don't know. I wasn't on fully loaded. What would you have done differently?
Look, I'm not a jockey.
Run.
Yeah, no, but you know what? I mean, I don't know I did speak to Fabian about the whole incident last time out, but I mean, he probably should have stayed out, shouldn't he?
Yeah, you know, I think that was one of the last races on the card, if not the last.
The last.
And there were so many horses winning on the outside, hard up against the outside. So he had every chance to come out. But you know what? You have to make split-second decisions, and unfortunately, you got caught behind 2 wrong horses. So I think he can set the record straight, but I've got healthy respect for Tuscan Gold. You know, this horse is clearly off a very competitive mark, and we've seen horses that join the yard improve in leaps and bounds. So he could be the one to beat if he's improved. I don't know if he has, but he would have had to give fully loaded a go. So, 2 from 5 for me.
Yeah, I mean, very unlucky. I mean, like Daryl said, it's split-second decisions. These things happen. I think we can all talk after the race. It's easier that way. But unlucky was fully loaded. Let's see what Darren likes. Darren, what do you like in particular over here? I'm sure you watched fully loaded last time out. If he gets the same sort of run in transit, could he be hard to beat?
Yes, he could be hard to beat because he was unlucky last time out. But I can tell you, Fort Lauderdale, who was behind him, hit a flat spot going through the 600 where I thought he was going to be pulled out the race. And then he all of a sudden changed legs and absolutely took off. Another couple of strides, he would have actually run second. So I'm not ignoring Fort Lauderdale at all. Fully Loaded's alive. And Tuscan Gold, he's only proven himself over 1,000 meters. He's yet to prove himself beyond 1,000 meters, but he's got to go in.
All right, let's go and see what we're doing for the lucky last. Fully loaded for Daryl Marie. That's going to be his win bet. So you can take that for 10 Rand or more, or even less. It's entirely up to you how much you've got going into the lucky last. Hopefully you've got a few rands in the back pocket and you can fire fully loaded to set you on your way for tomorrow's meeting out in KwaZulu-Natal. All right, so that's it from our side. Be safe. We'll chat again soon. Love to the family. Bye-bye.